gentlemen, if you can join me in please welcoming the faculty of Medfield High School. Big round of applause for the 2018 graduates of Medfield High School. Please be seated. Graduates, please be seated. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 2018 graduation ceremony here at Medfield High School. To get us started, please join me in welcoming senior Jane Clifford, who's going to lead us in the singing of the national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
Thank you, Jane. Hello and welcome, family, friends, faculty, and especially my class of 2018 mates. Thank you all for coming and joining us to celebrate our graduation for the third and final time, I promise. I'm Julie Letal, president of the class of 2018, and as a class, we owe many groups of people our gratitude. Thank you to everyone who has played a supporting role in any of our school careers. Administration, teachers, parents, coaches, crutches. While every one of you have probably had a unique impact on each of us, I'd like to say a blanket thank you. You have all invested so much time and effort into us, and the lessons you've taught extend far beyond just the classroom or home, including many lessons I'm sure we have yet to realize. I feel obliged to personally thank my family for their love, support, and humor, and especially to my mom for cleaning my dirty dishes when I have to run out the door because I'm late to my next activity. Yes, the kids these days do notice and appreciate the little things. I'd like to extend another thank you to my peers. Class of 2018, we're finally here. Our days of trying to get a rise out of Marty are over, maybe, and any fear of catching impetigo has passed, hopefully. I know I've been absent a couple of times, or months, but I also know that every day I've been at school, I've made memories I hope to cherish for years to come. We've been through deceiving meal paragraphs that didn't actually have anything to do with food. We've created the most intimidating fan sections in the TVL, no matter what the sport. Yes, even boys volleyball. And, I suppose somewhat aided by MHS faculty, we have achieved the ranking of the 7th best high school overall in Massachusetts. I've never seen a class so diversely and intensely talented, whether it's sports, academics, the arts, or anything in between. I'm continually impressed and inspired by the people I've grown up with, and can't thank you guys enough for that. Medfield has taught me lessons that maybe a bigger, more active, or more populated town couldn't. The art of knowing what to do when there's nothing to do and being able to enjoy it. I know if all else fails, I can sit in silence at Hospital Hill, appreciating what's always there, disregarding what might be happening in cars around me. And if even that gets boring, there's always driving past the speedometer on Brooke Street until you perfectly hit that inexplicably satisfying 30 miles per hour. The fact that after, for most of us, 18 years, we're still able to even remotely enjoy each other's company really says something about the quality of people in this class. I have had the honor of being president of the class of 2018 for 3 of the 4 years here at MHS. Thank you, Joey. And I am so happy and proud to have had this opportunity to represent these people and to be a face of Medfield. Good luck, class of 2018, although I have a feeling we won't need it. Goodbye for now, and welcome to the rest of your life. Thank you for it all.
Good afternoon. Welcome members of the Medfield School Committee, parents, grandparents, students, teachers, administrators, community members, Board of Selectmen, and distinguished guests of the Medfield Public Schools. Today we celebrate this outstanding class of 2018, culminating 13 years of learning, making friends, and achieving success. Before I begin my remarks, I do want to recognize one of our distinguished guests, a true friend of the Medfield Public Schools and a 1972 graduate of Medfield High School. Chief Robert Meany will be retiring in August, making this his last graduation as Chief of Police. Chief, it's been a pleasure working with you over the past 5 years, and I want to publicly thank you for always having our kids' best interest in mind. We will miss you, and we wish you a long and happy retirement, Chief. I know 13 years may seem like a long time for our students, but not for our parents. I'm sure it feels like yesterday when our graduates' smiling faces were heading into Memorial for their first day of kindergarten. Don't blink, it really does go fast. I've had the opportunity to observe and get to know many members of the class of 2018. By observing their behaviors and actions, the class of 2018 is easy to see what they represent. They are respectful, inclusive, responsible, hardworking, driven, and of course, in Medfield tradition, polite. I've had the pleasure to observe these positive behaviors and actions on countless occasions over the past 4 years of high school. The many sporting events, amazing art shows, band concerts, plays, the senior cruise, the proms, senior recognition, class day, and their day-to-day interactions with their peers. The class of 2018 is truly an outstanding group of kids that we will miss in the Medfield Public Schools. We know that many of our students are high achievers in the classroom, but for me personally, I've enjoyed seeing many of our members of the class of 2018 performing well outside the classroom. It's truly amazing how talented our kids are. I will certainly miss hearing the voices of Jane and Angela, watching Liam make a tackle or Emma shooting a three-pointer on a Friday night, the incredible artwork from Ashley and Jasmine, listening to the wonderful sounds from Bridget or Kyle, and seeing my buddy James sit through a 2-hour school committee meeting and still have a smile on his face when it's his time to present at 9:30 p.m. Although we continue to achieve national attention for our academics, it's the numerous opportunities that we give students outside of the classroom that makes the Medfield experience so powerful. Each year at graduation, I share a book I've read in the past year that has challenged my thinking or my values, but most importantly has a connection to our graduates as they end one journey and begin another. Last year, I had the opportunity to spend a day with Canadian educator and author George Couros. George has a cult-like following on Twitter and is the author of the best-selling book, The Innovator's Mindset. All of our pre-K through 12 faculty has read the book, and we were fortunate enough to have George spend a day in Medfield this past April to keynote our Digital Learning Day and push the thinking of everyone in attendance. George writes, "Innovation is not reserved for the few. It's something we will all need to embrace if we're going to move forward." George identifies 8 characteristics of an innovator. Although it's focused on innovation, these characteristics can be beneficial to every aspect of your life. Innovators are empathetic, being able to seeing issues from one point of view and not just their own. They're problem finders and problem solvers. As you know, the world is not linear, and often problems require a messy, non-linear solution. Risk takers. They have the willingness to try something new. They're networked. They're able to make connections to others both face-to-face and through social media. Observant. They keep their eyes open to make connections between powerful ideas and any information that is shared. Creators. The ability to consume information and create something new. Resilient. Life always doesn't go as planned, so continue to move forward through rejection and questioning. And most important, reflective. They take the time to question the effort, progress, and process of what they're doing each day. Of course, some of you in the class of 2018 naturally have some of these characteristics, and others do not, and that's okay. As you begin to consider your path for the next few years and beyond, take some time to assess where you are in terms of these characteristics. What are your strengths? What characteristics need further development? We all know that life is tricky, and the ability to innovate and adapt will serve you well in whatever passion you decide to pursue. As a 2018 graduate of Medfield High School, this is such an exciting time in your lives. You have completed a rigorous curriculum in one of the best school districts in the country. Our schools are places where teachers and administrators generally are committed to your growth and development as a student and as a person. The town of Medfield is a place where every adult supports you and truly wants you to succeed. You have found success, and now you're on to new challenges. You will soon find out that the experiences in Medfield have prepared you extremely well for your next journey. Graduates, today is all about you. But as Ronald Reagan once said, the family has always been the cornerstone of the American society. It's important for you now and in the future to always make time for your family. It's also important to seek out your family when you hit those inevitable road bumps of life and you need some support. I can't emphasize this enough to our graduates. It's critical you take care of yourself and always ask when you need help. Class of 2018, we are very proud of you, and we know that you're off to do great things during your next journey. And remember, no matter where your travels take you, you will always be a part of this incredible community we call Medfield. Congratulations, enjoy the day, and be safe.
Good afternoon. My name is John Kohler, and I'm honored to speak to you all today. I have attended graduation each year of high school. Twice, I sat and played with the band, and once, I watched from the audience. Yes, like many in my class, I have heard 6 other honor essayists struggle through the microphone echo. Just honestly not that bad today, thanks to TM Productions. I've seen families whose pride in their sons and daughters is outmatched only by their air horn volume. And I've watched as 3 other classes of students marched across this stage to claim their reward for the years they dedicated to their education. Given that I have 2 younger sisters, this probably won't be the last time I come to this field in early June. But almost every other event which I attended this year, which we attended as a class, has been our last here at MHS. We may have only received our caps and gowns 2 weeks ago, but in a way, we've been wearing them since we stepped into this building on August 30th, 2017. I have seen that sense of finale in the urgency of our studies and the warrior pride of our athletic teams. I have seen it in the cheers at pep rally and the intensity of Senior Assassin. This was our year, the year that we closed the doors on our past and opened the doors to our future. And since our time together is short, I think it is right that we reflect on the moments that led us to today. This spring, the MHS Theater Society performed Pippin, the story of a young man's journey to find his way in life. During my work as lighting designer, I noticed the striking similarities between Pippin's experience and the experience each and every one of us had throughout high school, even those who rarely set foot in the auditorium. Pippin is constantly bombarded by a ringmaster called the leading player and her acrobats who sing, "Pippin, think about your life," over and over and over again. If Pippin were a senior at MHS, then the leading player would be Aunt Cindy with her relentless college questions, or perhaps that traumatizing college speaker we had junior year. Pippin then tries out every life path he can imagine, from soldiering to romance to politics to art to farming. And if we follow this analogy, then each of Pippin's adventures would be the efforts we made to find our best selves during our years here. While Pippin became a warrior on the battlefield, we became warriors on the playing field. Our football team made it farther than any other team in recent years, and boys' winter and spring track brought home the TVL title. And, Medfield also had numerous other promising teams this year, but unfortunately, many of them fell short late in the playoffs. Although it may have led to some painful drives home, that's okay. Because being a warrior is about banding together and pushing forward for the love of the game. This year, while we sure caught diving touchdowns and charged through relays, mostly we built our character and our sportsmanship. Where Pippin tried romance, we also tried romance. We worked up the courage to ask someone to prom or out on a date. I mean, they didn't always say yes, but sometimes they did, and those times were worth it. With the support of friends, we found the strength to share our gender or sexuality with the world. Not everyone accepted it, and some pushed back against it. But for those who struggled with their identities of any kind, the journey wasn't about gaining acceptance from all people. It was about dealing with those who fail to accept us and finding confidence in ourselves. As Pippin tried politics, we lived politics. Growing up through some of the most tumultuous years our country has seen, we found a way to come together as a community and face the issues troubling our nation both inside the classroom and out. We studied up. We organized. We tried and we failed, but then we tried again. After the shooting in Parkland, Florida, and an inadvertent lockdown at Medfield High School, there were discussions in every classroom about how to keep our schools safe. We may have spent 17 awkward minutes shuffling around a gym, but it was a start. We debated on Facebook and in the halls and in our homes. It wasn't always pretty, and unfortunately, it wasn't always civil. But we saw what it was like to live with intense disagreements and come face to face with opposite opinions. When Pippin tried art, we made masterpieces most of the time. Our incredible music department sends musicians from band, chorus, and orchestra to the district band every year. And our visual arts students travel to Italy to study classic sculpture and architecture. We Latin students got to tag along too, even though we speak zero Italian and a dead language. But regardless, MHS is blessed with some of the most talented artistic instruction and expression around. Pippin itself was a testament to the creativity and artistry possessed by our class, and the determination to our craft, which overcame shortened rehearsal time due to multiple nor'easters. As a class, we pushed through to express ourselves, no matter the medium. And where Pippin tried farming, well, actually I couldn't come up with a parallel for farming. Second grade Pilgrim Day, maybe? I don't know. Now, if you didn't see the show, you may be wondering which path Pippin chooses after hearing "Think About Your Life" over and over again. Is it war, or love, or government? No. At the end, it's none of them. The leading player takes away the sets and lights and costumes, and Pippin is left living life day by day. Tomorrow, like Pippin, we will be leaving behind all of the activities which defined us on paper for the last 12 years. No more classes, no more clubs, no more sports, no more arts. What we are left with is not our stat sheet or our report card, but ourselves. The skills which we will carry forward have been growing since first grade. We built them on the practice field and on the dance floor and on the stage. They will undoubtedly include determination, love, empathy, and creativity in at least equal portions to math, science, English, and social studies. And I'm sure a little procrastination too. Because in addition to being students, we are humans, flawed yet dedicated to finding ourselves and our passions. But like Pippin, we haven't found them yet. Even though some of us may have committed to a college for next year, most of us, and some of us may know what we would like to study, none of us has our lives figured out yet. Still, after our education at Medfield High School, we all have the skills we need to take charge of our futures. The countless hours we have put into studying and practicing have prepared us for the road ahead. Though we will surely face obstacles greater than those we have faced in Medfield, our abilities now rival this new adversity. All our lives have been leading to this point, and our teachers, coaches, and parents have prepared us well. Although tomorrow we may find ourselves spread out across the country or across the world, we will always have our Medfield history to look back on. I know that 10, 20, 50 years from now, regardless of where we all end up, when someone comes up to us at a reunion and says, "Think about your lives, class of 2018," we will all be proud to have graduated from Medfield High School. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you to the families and the friends of the graduates who are all here today, and congratulations to the class of 2018. I'm Kate Travis, and I am excited and more than a little bit nervous to be speaking with you all today. As an underclassman, watching the seniors go through their final months in the high school and pass all the milestones that mark this year of lasts, I always wondered what was going through their heads. Were they excited, scared, relieved? For me, at least, the answer is all of the above. I think that's what I always expected. What I didn't expect was to constantly return to a single memory, to keep reliving a moment in time. The closer we've gotten to graduation and going our separate ways, the more I think about a conversation I had with my grandfather a few years ago. It was in the middle of freshman year, and I was certain I knew what I was going to do with my life. I told my grandfather how excited I was to escape Medfield and never come back. I told him that Medfield was a starting note, my introduction. It was never going to be a returning theme. My grandfather, who was always known to have a mischievous glimmer in his eye and a witty joke ready to tell, suddenly grew serious. He looked me directly in the eye and said, "Nope, you're a Boston kid, and Boston kids always come home." My first instinct was to disregard him. He was the type of person to never leave Boston, let alone Massachusetts or New England. If you asked him whether he parked the car in Harvard Yard, he would tell you that he did it on Tuesday while wearing a sweater. Of course he would want his granddaughter to stay in Massachusetts forever. But I thought to myself, why should I? What binds us to one location? Why can't we leave Medfield and never come back? Why should geography tie us down to one place and never let us go? It shouldn't. And that isn't what coming home means. Coming home does not mean never leaving. It means remembering where we came from and honoring it. Coming home is not driven by fear of the unknown. It's guided by a love of what's gotten us this far. We shouldn't come home because we know where it is on a map. We shouldn't come home because we think we have to. We shouldn't come home because we're too scared to venture out of our comfort zones and see what else the world has in store. We should come home because Medfield has shaped all of us. Whether we've lived here for a few years or our entire lives, Medfield is more than just a suburb of Boston where we went to high school. And despite all of our complaining about Deadfield, it's more than just a jumping off point. I know I'm not the only person here who has said, man, I cannot wait to get out of here. It seems a rite of passage. We start school, we get comfortable, we feel trapped, and we become excited to leave. The path is not limited to Medfield. But as the date we all leave draws nearer, we stop thinking of Medfield as a place to escape and start thinking of it as a home. It's a cruel irony. As we prepare ourselves to launch into the world, our feet involuntarily stick to the ground. For the past 3 years, I've watched graduation from the cello section of the orchestra, fantasizing about the freedom the people walking across the stage in their caps and gowns must feel. Now I'm standing on this same stage, wearing a cap and gown, and all I can think about is my grandfather's words. Like everyone here, I am excited to start a new portion of our lives, but I don't want to completely abandon Medfield. I want to remember to come home. I didn't fully understand what my grandfather meant until I reframed my thinking about homecoming, not the pep rally, although that also took me a while to figure out. Coming home does not have to mean visiting your old house, eating at Blue Moon, or walking around Hospital Hill. I'm pretty sure most of us here today will not end up living back in Medfield, but that does not mean that it will never again be part of our lives. We can come home wherever we are. Of course, we can always log into Facebook and see what the concerned citizens of Medfield are debating now, or call our friends from high school and reminisce. But we don't even have to do that. We can come home through an act as simple as using the lessons we've learned here out in the rest of the world. Every time we remember what Medfield taught us, we hold on to a piece of our home and share it. And the lessons our teachers, parents, coaches, mentors, and most importantly, peers have taught us deserve to be shared. Medfield, as we all know, prides itself on educating us in a variety of fields. This holds true outside of the classroom as well as in it. We've had role models demonstrating kindness, responsibility, integrity, persistence, selflessness, and grace. Through all of these important traits, Medfield has taught us one lesson we can take with us for the rest of our lives: the power of a community. We see people tirelessly working for this town on a daily basis in projects big and small. I'm proud to say we followed in their footsteps and worked for the community ourselves. We signed pledges to take care of each other through actions such as refusing to drink and drive. We encourage our peers through their successes and support them through their challenges. We even come together through fundraisers and donation drives to help other communities in need. This sense of solidarity, both to each other and to people far from us. We should not dismiss the ability of people in our town to rely on others and allow others to rely on them. It's unique, and it's hard to leave behind. But coming from such an extraordinary community means we have a responsibility to share it with others. Although we cannot allow ourselves to leave Medfield completely in our pasts, we also cannot limit our sense of kinship to the town borders. By coming home, by sharing everything that makes Medfield special, we can spread a bit of kindness and generosity into the world. We all know the world needs it. So as we say our final goodbyes to the community we know so well, I'd urge us all to remember what makes Medfield so special and bring it with us. And if we start to think that we can leave this town and this school completely in our pasts, we should remember a slightly paraphrased version of my grandfather's words. We're Medfield kids, and Medfield kids always come home. Thank you.
Well done to Jane, Julie, Kate, and John, and thank you, Dr. Marsden. You may be wondering why, after all these great speeches by students and by our superintendent, why me, the acting chair of school committee? But I am here on behalf of the people of Medfield, this community that has supported each of you graduates from behind the scenes for these past 13 years. What I want to share with you today is some of the work I do with students at St. Edward. I've introduced them to the practice of gratitude. What does that mean? And how can we practice that? Well, it's not so much passively saying the words thank you. For me, gratitude lifts me up and gives me a deep sense of serenity, even when times are challenging. It's a positive emotion that serves me and helps me in my service to others. And more often than not, I tend to tear up with joy. How do I do this in my busy life with 4 children? I keep it simple. I pray, I meditate, I reflect on my blessings during my quiet morning walks with my dog Cora, which is a wonderful way to start my day. When I first ask the students what they are thankful for, I usually first hear things like, I don't know, I guess snow days, Fortnite. But after the year of classes where kids would sit quietly for 15 minutes, sit upright, feet firmly planted on the ground, their eyes closed, taking deep belly breaths, I noticed a shift in their practice. And here's what I noticed. After a year of consistent practice, they begin to stop thinking about themselves or talking about themselves and more about others. I then got responses like, I'm grateful for my family, my warm house. I'm grateful for my grandmother's chocolate cake. But of course, I needed to remind them, and I'll remind you, that practicing gratitude is exactly that, a practice. Some found that it got easier over time, and others found it to be a challenge. But just like learning something new, we get better with practice. It's very important for me to acknowledge that you are each on a different path. For example, some of you may have had a positive and uplifting experience here in our Medfield schools, while others had a series of ups and downs along the way. And although at times you may find it hard to feel thankful for anything, open your heart, open your mind. There is always something or someone to be thankful for. So reflecting on the past and trying to learn lessons to improve situations for the future, I invite you to consider a practice of gratitude. It can have a positive impact on your next stage in college, the workforce, and your relationships. Let's just practice right now. If this is a little too kumbaya for you, consider this a movement moment after sitting on your backsides for so long. So will the following please stand? Parents, guardians, grandparents, relatives, friends, neighbors, teachers, staff, administrators, elected and non-elected town officials. Essentially, all of you here in support of our 2018 graduates. I applaud and thank all of you here and those who are here in spirit for getting these graduates to this day and preparing them for their future. Thank you. All right. Yay. Thank you. So if you could please take a seat, except for the parents or guardians of those with their last child going through the Medfield schools. Exactly. Wonderful. You deserve a special shout out and a round of applause. Surely there has been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears over the years, but you're done, and you've done well. And we as a school district and community have done well by you. Thank you. Now, graduates, in a minute, when I give you the thumbs up, I'm going to ask you to stand, but not just yet. When I do, I'd like you to try and make eye contact with your loved ones, and then either blow them a kiss, give them a wave, while we all say thank you on my count. All right, stand up, please. And on the count of 3, please say thank you to your people. 1, 2, 3. Oh, another one, more enthusiastically. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. All right, you may take a seat. Thanks for being a good sport. See how easy that was? Gratitude makes a difference. If you Google it, you'll find a plethora of research and data that supports the value of the practice. But the things I find most rewarding are very simple. Gratitude reduces negative emotions and helps you feel less envy and resentment. Gratitude increases happiness and helps you cope with stress better. Gratitude enhances empathy, even when folks are less than kind towards you. Gratitude allows you to focus on what you have, not what you don't have. So whether you are grateful for the mundane or the magnificent, gratitude will serve you and will serve others. And as you graduates learned at Dale Street School, choose your attitude. I say to you today, choose gratitude. I wish you joy, purpose, and fulfillment in each of your lives. And to use Maya Angelou's, the poet, words of gratitude, this is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before. Thank you.
All right. Hi, I'm Macey Musto, and good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations to the class of 2018. Taking risks is not easy. I'd like to define myself as an aspiring risk taker, but standing in front of 230 of my classmates and hundreds of friends and family, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous. Truly, I'm taking one of the biggest risks of my life right now by giving this speech today. What other risks have I taken in my life, you may ask? Well, when I was in preschool, I chopped off my own hair with big girl scissors. I like to call this an artistic risk. When I was in 4th grade, I lied to my principal and told her I regularly did yoga to become one with myself. What 4th grader does yoga? I don't know. When I was in 10th grade, I ate half of a habanero pepper to see if I'd like it. I cried for 2 hours straight. Those risks came with consequences. After the big chop, I had wildly uneven bangs for the following 8 months. After I lied to my teacher, I had to deal with the guilt of my fabricated spirituality. After I ate that pepper, well, I believe that's self-explanatory. In this past year, these risks have morphed into beasts of their own. Our gambles have shifted from stealing cookies from cookie jars to deciding where to spend the next 4 years of our lives. These new ventures are terrifying, but they are something that Medfield High School has spent 4 years preparing us for. The Medfield High School class of 2018 faces the challenges of these risks on a daily basis. The chances we take range from setting up a Hail Mary in the last seconds of a playoff football game to sitting down for an audition in front of a row of hushed judges. They stretch from verbalizing disagreements in class discussions to coming out about your sexuality to your friends and family. The possibility of negative aftermaths loom over us, but we are not afraid. We are not afraid because we know that we leave every situation with one advantage: experience. We learn from both our successes and our failures, and they educate us with more wisdom than any book or set of fill-in-the-blank notes could. This high school has gifted us this confidence. Next year, we are delving into a world that is entirely unknown to us, a world called adulthood. Growing older comes with greater risks, but when we enter a classroom full of students that we don't know, explore a place we've never traveled to, or figure out how to cook ramen without a measuring cup, we will know exactly how to react. We know both how to gracefully accept our mistakes and how to benefit from them. I'm so proud of what our class has already accomplished. We have paved roads for generations of students to walk along. We have achieved more than what was expected of us. We have built the foundations of successful futures. But these accomplishments are merely a small reflection of what our destiny has in store for us. When faced with difficult decisions or strenuous situations, these students have become masters of adjusting and responding. In the beginning of my speech, I labeled myself as an aspiring risk taker. I definitely have not mastered the art of risk-taking, for I'm usually hesitant to update my phone software or to watch a new scary movie. But in a true moment of reflection, those aren't really the risks that matter. So what risks do matter? Breaking social norms, not conforming to society's labels, taking advantage of every opportunity that comes your way, being an individual. And that's how you take risks. So in an attempt to make my 4th grade principal proud and rid myself of 8 years of guilt, I'm going to lead us in a little meditation. Everyone breathe in. Anyone who's standing, they can do a tree pose if you need to. Okay, breathe out. We, the class of 2018, are ready to take on whatever the world throws at us. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Before I make my closing remarks, there are several people I'd like to thank for making today absolutely perfect. First, I want to thank our assistant principals, Mrs. Heather Mendoza and Mr. Jeff Sperling, who, in my absence, made sure the senior events this past week went smoothly. And I want to thank our senior class advisors, Mr. Russ Becker and Mr. Michael Kell, for all their work over the years. And I know today is one filled with mixed emotions for them. Our custodians and maintenance crew have spent the past 2 days getting the staging, tents, and chairs all set up. And every great show needs a director who can pull this all together. And we have a great director in Mrs. Mary Jean Ingram. So please join me in thanking everyone for making today a special one for our graduates. Friends, parents, teachers, honored guests, and to the amazing class of 2018. As principal, it is my honor and absolute privilege to have this opportunity to speak to you as we celebrate your graduation from Medfield High School. Days like today are often bittersweet for many of us, including your teachers, parents, and other loved ones. They are bittersweet because we are proud of what you have accomplished and proud of the young women and men that you've become. But we also know that you will walk off of this field this afternoon and begin a new journey without us, at which time you will be a graduate of Medfield High School. And as alums, you will be part of a special group that includes doctors and lawyers and actors and actresses, accomplished musicians, teachers, public servants, and members of the military, among many, many others. And based on our existing criteria, you've now met all the requirements needed to receive your high school diploma. However, this criteria that I mentioned is something that your teachers are looking at very closely. As you may know, public high schools go through a reaccreditation process every 10 years. And here at Medfield High School, our teachers have been working all year on what we call the self-study phase of our reaccreditation. And what that means is that we are examining all of our programs, we are examining our instructional practices, and we are examining how we support you, the students. But this self-study process has also provided us a great opportunity to discuss and create a statement that we will eventually call the vision of the graduate. To our students, as you sit here today, you probably don't realize how much you have helped us shape this vision. One statement that we've drafted reads, "Students will graduate from Medfield High School having forged positive relationships with members of their learning community." So I think of what many of you have done with Best Buddies, Friends of Rachel, and Project Teamwork. I think of the many conversations we've shared together in advisory, and specifically for me, I think of Caroline Augustini, Diana Fedak, and Joshua Windsor-Knox, who provided honest feedback and thoughtful ideas over the past 4 years as members of the Principals Advisory Group. You, the graduates, have indeed forged positive relationships. As a staff, we've discussed how important we believe it is for our graduates to understand the significance of taking personal responsibility and working well with others. Life skills that we believe are crucial for becoming a positive, contributing member to one's community. You, the graduates of 2018, have showed us what this looks like, from representing Medfield High School on several international trips to participate in important programs, including One Love and the Social Emotional Task Force. Your willingness to be active and involved shows you understand what responsibility looks like. And during those few instances when the decisions you made may not have been the most well thought out, you owned it, you learned from it, and you moved on. We are confident that you understand what personal responsibility looks like, and you've showed countless times just how well you work with others. Finally, I'm certain the importance of communicating effectively will work its way into our vision of the Medfield High School graduate. After all, it's what you, the class of 2018, did so well. And I'm thinking of William Johnson's ability and willingness to provide a student's perspective during our site council meetings over the past 2 years, and the 25 of you who enthusiastically spent the past couple of months working on a senior project, then shared your findings with your peers and teachers. Being able to communicate effectively may end up being the most important life skill you can develop. And I hope when you return to visit us as alums, you'll know that by your actions, you helped us define the vision of the Medfield High School graduate. Now, over the past couple of days, I've had the opportunity to spend time with my own family while I was in California. And as many of our graduates will soon find out, it is not easy to live miles and miles away from your loved ones. And whenever I go back to Los Angeles, I always try to make an effort not only to spend time with my family, but also make sure to connect with my old high school baseball coach and a few close childhood friends. And like so many of our graduates, I've had a lot of support over the years, and I've been fortunate to have had such positive individuals in my life. So graduates, before you head off on your next journey, please make sure to thank those that have helped you along the way, whether it's your parents, siblings, grandparents, an uncle or an aunt, a cousin, a teacher, a coach, a neighbor, or a classmate. I can say with certainty that someone has helped each of you along the way. And as you head off in different directions, be sure to keep those individuals close to your heart because they are priceless. And finally, please know that you graduate today with an impressive list of accomplishments. During your time at Medfield High School, you've contributed to many of the accolades we've received, including recognition from national publications as one of the best high schools in the Commonwealth, a whole host of music and art awards, impressive theater performances, individual school track records, and state championships in girls basketball, boys lacrosse, and boys hockey. This is quite a legacy you leave. You should be proud of the journey you've taken, and I'm excited for each and every one of you. And on behalf of the entire staff at Medfield High School, I wish you good luck and good health. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parga. Good afternoon, classmates, faculty, and family. Today, as treasurer to the class of 2018, I am honored to present the class gift on behalf of this year's graduating class. This coming summer, we will use our class funds to purchase and install energy-efficient hand dryers. Our plan is to provide each hallway with access to these hand dryers. This gift, though modest in its display, will economically and environmentally benefit our school and community. Analyzing figures, we are projected to have 98% cost savings compared to traditional paper towel use, meaning we will save around $7,000 per year per hand dryer. Looking at environmental gains, the hand dryer company calculated that our hand dryers will reduce our carbon footprint by 80% in terms of the water, landfills, and trees we save from decreasing paper towel use. Our hope is that these hand dryers are just the seed that will grow into bigger, greener change for this community. Making the tiny adjustments now will allow our school and following generations to thrive long term. For these reasons, our student government believes that it will be a gift that will keep on giving. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2018.
The class of 2018, John Walter Kohler, honor essayist. Margaret Catherine Horgan Travis, honor essayist. Macey Rose Musto, senior speaker. Julia Jean Letal, class president. Caroline Rafaela Arcari, class vice president. Gideon Young G. Long, class secretary. Emma Nicole Anderson, class treasurer. John William Lane, class representative to the school committee. Jordan Powers Wytrecki, student council president. Chloe Catherine Rogan, student council vice president. Mark Mahoney Bissell, student council secretary. Devin Bhavani Venkataraman, student council treasurer. James Bartholomew Colley, student council representative to the school committee. Christina May Wagenseller, student council historian. William Charles Johnson, student council public relations. Ben William Adams. Benjamin Scott Alford. Kayla Ashley Anderson. Michaela Eleni Anton. Amelia Kate Ashton. Stephen James Athanasiadis. Alter Brooke Augustini. Margaret Marie Baker. Jack Connolly Barrett. Charles Arthur Bodwin. Haley Alexis Bigelow. Grace Ray Bond. Caroline Marie Bondi. Jennifer Rose Bragg. Sarah June Bragg. Rebecca Calder Brown. Kelsey Elizabeth Cahill. Wenfeng Chai. Christina Michelle Camillo. Catherine Elizabeth Caputo. Allison Taylor Carlin. Abigail Ruth Carlson. Michael James Catanese. Jasmine Zoe Chan. Brian Peter Chu. John Michael Churchill. Jane Margaret Clifford. Allison Rose Clower. Rachel Judith Cohen. Paulina Constance Calivas. Elizabeth Bousquet Kalata. Liam Hallway Conran. Andrew Leo Cook. Alana Ruth Cooney. David Fitzgerald Corrigan. Catherine Eleanor Corzelius. Brad Cosma. Jessica Caitlin Kulam. Abigail Helene Crofts. Bridget Ann Cronin. Mary Patricia Cronin. Christian Peter Daniele. Caroline Rose Davenport. Brooke Alexis Deedy. Kaylee Tyberry DeMarzo. Sarah Casey DeMille. Rachel Ives Denny. Alexa Lee DeJordy. Anthony Rocco Devlin. Luis Oscar Diaz Felice Jr.
Congratulations, Oscar. Thank you. Best of luck to you, buddy.
Catherine Adine Doherty. Nolan Richard Driscoll. Harold Aaron Drawn. Jake Harry Dubbs.
Congratulations, Dubs. Best of luck.
Isabella Ann Dudley. Charlotte Jane Duffy. Amanda Marie Dumais. Graham Thomas Dupre. Sadie Caroline Dorham. Genevieve Joy Erickson. Samuel Weston Evans. Gabrielle Falvey. Liam Michael Farrell. Diana Alexandra Fedak. Edward William Fegley. Max Henry Ficardi. Gina Grace Fitzpatrick. Mark Gerard Fitzpatrick. Skylar Emily Flynn. Michael Wells Foley. Veronica Marie Frazier. Shofan Gao. Noah Charles Garfield. Liam David Gately. Christopher Thomas Gouch. Ian Daniel Gibson. Mason Robert Junta. Julia Aaliyah Graham. William Christopher Graziano. Alexander Philip Griffin. Sophia Jane Sandeman Griffin. Samira Marie Haj. Morgan Kenzie Hall. Thespina Hamos. Daniel Francis Hanrahan. Madison Grace Harding. Elizabeth Teresa Harity. Connor Stephen Haskell. Megan Evelyn Hawley. Kyle Parker Heaney. Abigail Marie Heidke. Ryan Patrick Higgins. Jeffrey Stewart Hill. Emma Rose Hilbert. Christopher Philip Hogan. Ryan Stanley Horwitz. Margaret Elizabeth Hurley. Matthew Francis Ebla. Kyle Angelo Infantino. Braden Keikoa Johnson. Isabel Mae Johnson. Jean Barbara Johnson. Joseph Lawrence Johnson. Ryan Christopher Johnson. Jenna Olympia Katsikaris. Jonathan Leo Caravan. Sean Bradford Kirby. Crystalbel Namatobi Kizito. I screwed up, sorry. Brian Frederick Knott. Anton Cobrin. Rachel Diana Cornett. Dylan Robert Joseph LaHaze. Taylor Rachel Lipsy. Xiaowen Liu. John Rycroft Lowell. Tyler Lewis Luzak. Sophie K. Lucier. Risa Bryn McDonald. Michael James Mangiafico. Michael Bryce Marie. Caitlin Jane Maritan. Patrick Conrad Martin. Tatiana Lashai Martinez. Benjamin Edward Mason. Abigail Grace Matthews. Audrey Elizabeth Matthews. Margaret Perrin McCarthy. Matthew David McGlone. Julia Lorraine McLafferty. Dylan Fitzgerald McNally. Kelsey Rose McQuillan. Eric John Mera. John Richard Morrill. Emma Rose Murphy. Griffin David Murphy. Ivy Evelyn Naseje. Cassandra Rose Navalta. Melanie Amber Nafis. Lucy Catherine Nealon. Brady Scheid Neeb. Samantha Lee Nemorowski. Jasmine Jai Ming Ni. Olivia May O'Brien. Kathleen Jean O'Connor. Patrick Edward O'Connor. Mary Catherine O'Donnell. Jonathan David O'Toole. Liam Timothy O'Toole. Theodore Vasily Oliver. Caitlin Mary Parks. Eric Thomas Peterson. Renee Elizabeth Perry. Mark Patrick Pettit. Caroline Joan Phillips. Justin George Plakius. Kristen Lee Reardon. Joseph Pierce Reddy. Annie Shea Riley. Dugan Walter Riley.
Thank you.
Jack Henry Riley. Sophie Claire Riddick. Emanuele Garces Rogerio. Trevor James Russo. Nula Colleen Ryan. Stephen Michael Sabia. Angela Eulela Salisbury. John Henry Sawyer. Grant Ward Schilling. Thomas Joseph Schofield IV. Joshua Richard Schultz. Christopher Michael Schwerer. Kayla Ashley Scott. Erhan Salmani. Shanasia Carissa Settles Cox. Taylor Jean Sherman. Jacqueline Kelly Shortsleeve. Ella Virginia Shreve. Kate Marie Slow. Andrew Morgan Sly. Danielle Elizabeth Smith. Greta Claire Smith. William McDonald Spaeth. Caitlin Margaret Steichleather.
Thank you so much.
Brian Anthony Stolzenbach. Corey David Strickler.
Thank you.
Jessica Carol Sturcio. Audrey Aileen Sullivan. Megan Corey Sullivan. Scott Francis Tatro. Georgia Noreen Taylor. Caitlin Eileen Taylor. Sophie Joy Tom. Jack Sanford Tomlin. Claire Teresa Tormey. Tritkak. Ross William Tritkak.
Thank you so much.
Sean Mitchell Tyre. Peter Samuel Vagoda. Patrick Stephen Viles. Alina Rose Wadness. Claire Patricia Walton. Sarah Maria Walton. Gianna Faye Warner. Stuart McClay Whitla. Joshua Hunter Windsor Knox. Colin William Wersig.
Thank you.
Shay Philip Wise. Jonathan Berry Wong. Tyler Daniel Wong. John Erickson Zarker. Rujian Zhang. Chuyu Chow. Ashley Trin Anao Zhao. Yumiao Zhu. Congratulations to our graduates.
So a couple announcements before we wrap up, so if you want to grab a seat. I want to thank a couple of individuals who've helped us celebrate with our graduates over the years. Music director Doug Olson will be leaving Medfield as he's accepted a teaching position at WPI, and Secretary Laura Boyer is retiring after many years and many, many years helping out with graduation. Both are here today, so please join me in thanking them and wishing them well as they move on from Medfield High School. I also want to thank Mr. Olson and the Medfield High School Orchestra and Band for spending their day off to be with us today. And I'm going to ask all band members to please wave. Thank you very much for the job you did today. Great job, everyone. The all-night grad party volunteers have asked me to remind parents that the open house will take place immediately following our ceremony. For those who want to take a peek inside the school, seniors, please remember you are not allowed in the building until tonight. And so our ceremony has concluded. Thank you for coming out to support our graduates. It's now time for our wonderful musicians to take us out. Have a great rest of the day, and once again, congratulations to the Medfield High School class of 2018. Have a great day, everyone.
You're watching Medfield TV, community shows.